Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Shio, and notice something different? Wait, is this Shio playing a console game? A Nintendo Switch game? What? He's not playing a PC game? You're correct. Today we're playing Animal Crossing. I've really been wanting to start playing console games on the channel recently. There's a few games I have on my list, but I haven't because doing so requires hardware that I don't have. But I recently took the plunge and I bought it, and this is my little test video. If you're seeing this, it went well, so let's hope you are. I'm going to give you a little tour of my Animal Crossing island and fill you in on all of the little stories and drama and relationships that go on this island, because I'm a very delusional Animal Crossing player, okay? I like to imagine that there's more of a social environment on my island, that my villagers actually have like interpersonal relationships with each other and with me. So I'm going to fill you in on all of that. Hello there everyone! Right now on Donley, that's the name of my island. And right now on Donley, it's that time and that date. Whoops, now you know when I recorded this. I'm so excited to show you around my island. I worked so hard on this the first year of Animal Crossing. Hello everybody, and welcome to Donley, my Animal Crossing island. This is the very first island I have in Animal Crossing. I have never, in New Horizons. I've played New Leaf before, but I played a lot more New Horizons than I did New Leaf. This is my very first and only island. I have never restarted. This is my very first batch of villagers. Yeah, all of this is like March 20th, 2020, day one. I've kept the same stuff because I'm very emotionally attached to how it is. So I'm gonna try and be one of those, you know, cottagecore Animal Crossing girlies that are still popular on YouTube, and they do cool stuff. Go check them out. There's a bunch of them still. But we're gonna jump into this Animal Crossing island tour. I'm really excited. I've worked so hard on this island, like for a year and a half after the game came out. It's not gonna be spectacular, but I think it's got a lot of character. First thing we'll do is, shit, I got rid of a path. I'm forgetting all of the damn controls already. How do I get my map out? Oh no. There we go, okay. Here's my map. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna check it out. And I'm gonna fill you in on all of the juicy drama of my island and introduce you to all my villagers. So this is the little entrance. I don't like having like a big, you know, big deal entrance, so there's just a cute little stone path here. There's a way over this way, which we'll check out right now actually, a little Stonehenge. And this is just one of the beaches on my island. Beaches are notoriously hard to decorate in this game, so I decorated mine with a little like hangout spot here, and then this little Haikyuu reference. Oh my god, this is so lame. This is so peak 2020 Shio. Oh yeah, a little volleyball court with correct me any Haikyuu heads out there. I haven't watched it in a bit, but this is Akashi's jersey, and this is Sugawara's jersey. I believe those are my favorite Haikyuu characters. Well, Sugawara is, and I like Akashi as well. That's so lame, dude. And then there's like a little outdoor cafe area. There used to be like a cafe stand, and I ended up getting rid of it, and I don't remember why. But yeah. So cute. And then if we go over this way, over here is a little bridge, which we'll see later. Not right now, later. And if we go up, around, we come back here, which is exactly where we were before. So we just did a little circle because this is the entrance again. Remember, keeping this all in mind, there's going to be a quiz at the end. And here's Raymond. Old famous Raymond. I do have a Raymond. I got him from another person, I think, actually. I adopted him. He's ignoring this bench, which is this little, like, park right at the beginning of my island. He's ignoring the bench and sitting on the ground. So let's talk to Raymond. I'll introduce you to who Raymond is on my island. Hey, we finally meet again. I feel like I've been waiting in line for months. I guess we're just both busy, living separate lives here on Donley. Well, you can have your folks call my folks whenever they want. I'll clear the calendar for you. It has been, I did play this game a few months ago for like 15 minutes because I missed it, but before that it's been like a good year or two, so a lot of these people are not going to recognize me. Raymond on my island is someone who, he's like a young businessman who got rich really early in life and got out of a really messy relationship breakup and wanted to sort of restart. So he moved to a tropical island, but he's still very much like a city boy, and he's having a really hard time adjusting. But luckily, he is dating someone on the island. They are boyfriends, and he's really helping Raymond adjust. We'll meet him in a second, and we'll also see Raymond's house because I do have the Animal Crossing DLC, and I have renovated everyone's houses, obviously, because that's the most fun part of this game. Here's Tangy, one of the island residents. Schmoopy, I guess that's what she calls me. Why weren't you talking to me even though you were around? Wait, have you been practicing your dancing skills in secret? As like a surprise for me? Well, I'll pretend to be Trey surprised when you finally bust those moves. So Tangy's on my island. She's a poppy villager, which means she's like obsessed with like singing and being like a pop girly. And here's the thing with Tangy. She's a little bit of a girl fail on my island, okay? We love her to death, but she is not very famous. She is an aspiring pop singer, but she doesn't really do anything that a pop singer does, like release music or anything like that. She just kind of likes to say that she's a pop girly, and that's what makes her so iconic, you know? She's a girl fail. We love it. We love it. We'll talk a little bit more about her when we get to her house. And here's Genji. As you can tell, Genji and Raymond are orbiting each other because yes, Genji is Raymond's boyfriend, and they are dating. And oh look, he's running here to say hi to him. No, he's looking at something else. Let's talk to Genji. Genji's one of my all-time favorite villagers ever, so. Hey, Prof Pie. It's been a while. Do you go back to the mainland? Huh? You haven't left the island? But I've been swim training for weeks to come visit you. I love Genji. He's so cute. Yeah, basically when I first got Raymond on the island, him and Genji just were hanging out a lot. Like a lot. And there's a little spot on my island that I'll show you in a bit, which is the date spot. It's a little fancy table. And my resolution is that if I ever found two villagers at the date spot at one time, they were canonically dating. And Genji and Raymond are the only two that I've ever found in the date spot at the same time. So they're dating. It's funny because Raymond is like very prim and proper and he's kind of like has a stick up his ass, but Genji's like very silly and he's like a gym buff. So it doesn't really feel like they should get along, but they do. And I think Genji's helping Raymond like open up and accept this, you know, island living situation. Here is Town Square. As you can see, it's cool. It looks exactly like everyone else's. And here's a little market that's open right outside of Town Square. You can buy stuff like pumpkins, I guess, and records. This is a little Mario pipe. There's 3 Mario pipes on the island, and it just helps me get around a little easier. This is a little tree, and I want to come down here because Caroline is here, and she's thinking. I love Caroline. I love all of the islanders on my island because I chose them personally, obviously. I hunted for them all, and I had a very specific set of 10 that I wanted in mind, so I take choosing them very seriously. And you're going to see there's a lot of squirrels on this island because they are my favorite. But let's talk to her. Shio, how long have you been here? Guess I was sort of spaced out. I've been daydreaming lately about starting a new life on another island. It's not that I'm unhappy here or anything. I think I just want to try something new. I think if I want to keep growing as a squirrel, I need to explore new places and make new friends. I want you to stay, Caroline. You're not going anywhere, girl. It's true that there are things I have yet to do on this island. Since you don't want me to leave, I think maybe I'll stick around here after all. Hula! I love Caroline. If you don't know, her house in this game is like a manga artist's house. So Caroline is a canon manga artist in my island. She draws a lot of very famous manga and comics, and she's actually very, very popular. But she does write under like a stage name or a pen name because she's very introverted and she doesn't really like the attention. So she doesn't give public interviews or anything. But she has a very popular manga out. It's about a squirrel superhero. No, it is not Squirrel Girl. And yeah, that's her story. We'll see her house later. If you walk here to the right, Resident Services is my house, which I've decked out as a sort of farmhouse. And you can see all of the farming stuff in this little quadrant of the island. I'll remind you on the map, if I can remember how to open the map. So down there where you can see the little symbol, that's all a farm. I'll show you my house right at the end of this area. But we got the wheat field here. I love the little gnome items so much, so I have a lot of them. There's some carrots here and some potatoes down here. This is my little gyroid burying spot. As you can see, there's already one in there. I'm not going to take it out now. There's tomatoes down here. Little waterfalls everywhere. Down here we've got sort of the farm proper. The sugar cane is here. This is like a little greenhouse, or that's what it's supposed to be at least, with a silo. More sugar cane. A little scarecrow, a lot of pumpkins down here. Nice, nice, nice. And yeah, that's about it for the farm. Down right at the bottom, we've got the little rock farm with a Korok in the middle because I am a Breath of the Wild fan, of course. And the rock farms always reminded me of the little Korok puzzles in that game. So that's how I decorated it. I think I drew that Korok myself. No, actually, I don't think I did. I think that's a pattern I got from someone. And down here is this little luxurious hangout spot on the beach. You can just sit here, enjoy the sound of the waves and the music. This place is very nice. It's a little eclectic, but I think that's kind of the vibe. I like to imagine that someone has like collectively, like a group of a few people have like drug all of this extra furniture here just to create a little private hangout place. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. Because I really don't see a lot of villagers coming into the farm area, so I think it's very private. I think a lot of them don't really care for the farm area. Little bonfire over there, because I didn't know how to fill the space. Up here, this beach is like very overgrown and very wild. That's sort of the idea. This is how I decorate most of the beaches that I don't have an idea for. Is that a fucking bee? Are there bees in this game? I didn't even know. I didn't remember that at all. And if we go through here, this little secret passage, we have the real secret hangout spot, which is this place with these cute, whatever these are called in English. I don't know what they're called. I know what they're called in Spanish, but I can't remember the name in English. So, and yeah, that's that side of the beach. So I'll show you my house now. There are probably going to be cockroaches because I haven't played in so long, so just ignore that. But I'll show you around. Okay, yep, there's a cockroach. So this is my living room. Is this what the kids are calling cottagecore these days? I don't really know, but it's very eclectic, it's very warm-toned. I'll do a full 360 so you can see. I really like the paintings in this game. I have a wall full of all of my villagers that have given me their portraits. Most of them, I think. I don't know if I'm missing some. Well, I am missing some villagers that have not given me their portraits, but I don't know if I have them in storage or if I just haven't put them up. Over this way, I believe is my office, if I remember correctly. We'll see. We'll see if I do. Yep, and there's another freaking cockroach in here. Here I have posters of, oh, that's not even all of my village. Oh no, it is. It is, okay. So that's a little preview of all the villagers that are on my island. We'll talk about them more when I get to them. And this office is just supposed to be a bit of like a, you know, lame, oh look, there's the portrait of the Happy Home Paradise crew. Oh, I love them. Yeah, I don't have a computer in this office. Very unrealistic. I spend most of my day on my computer, so. But yeah, cute little hangout space. I'm not as good at interior decorating as I am regular decorating. Not that I'm particularly good at either, so just as a fair warning. Up here is the kitchen, I believe, of my house. So, yep. A little, like, I don't know what style you would call this, like mid-century kitchen. I really like the predominantly white, like, tiles and stuff with the little splashes of red. That's what I was going for. Obviously, this back wall has a lot of red. It's a feature wall. Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about. There's a lot of cakes in here. I'm obsessed with the food items in this game. Like, look at those. Oh, so nice. I love the food items a lot in this game. They all look so delicious. And then the final room here to the left, I believe is like a music room. It's It's got like a piano and stuff. It's very elevated, very sophisticated, very unlike me in real life. Yeah. I don't even remember why I like did this room this way, to be honest. But I did, and here we are. You can play the piano if you want. I really wish I had a darker piano that had like a darker wood on it because it doesn't look good really, but you work with what you got. And I got that piano, so there we go. We'll go to the basement now, which is a catch-all. So one thing that I really stress in Animal Crossing, it's part of my design philosophy, is that I need houses to be realistic. So when I decorate my house and my villagers' houses, I always have to include like a bed and a kitchen and stuff, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's not realistic if they're living without a bed and a kitchen. Like they gotta, you know. So my basement has a bathroom and it has like a hangout area down here. I decorated all of this before they added those walls. So there's actually not a wall in between the bathroom and the rest of the space, but just pretend that there is one, because I haven't gotten those yet. Or I have them, but I haven't changed the decoration. So yeah, there's a little bathroom here, sink, you know, bathtub, toilet. This is a little laundry area, very cute. And then down here is like your typical little like basement hangout. I actually have a photo of me and all of my friends sitting down here during the pandemic. This is where we used to hang out in Animal Crossing. And then a little home gym. Again, very unrealistic for me. And there's just a lot of like eclectic wall decor. You know how basements usually are in houses that have like those hangout basements? It's where all the extra stuff goes. That's sort of the vibe. And then upstairs, of course, is the bedroom. There's also another little lounge there too. I was really into, when I decorated my house, like dividing space up and using different rooms, or using the same room for different purposes. So again, I decorated this before they added the partition walls, so just pretend these walls are real walls. There's a little like hangout area, a vanity, a place for my Nintendo Switch, and then if we walk in here into the bedroom, you can see the bed, a little desk, a wardrobe, and the mirror, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, I don't actually really like this room looking back on it. I don't know why there's so many windows. It's a little excessive. Oh, I like this wall a lot. Ooh, nice. Okay, that's it for my house. Let's keep moving. Okay, here we are on the outside again. We're gonna go back here and do, oh, hi Genji. Go back here into resident services, and I think we're gonna start by going up. So there's two stairs here with a little table. There's the south stairs and the north stairs, and we'll take the north stairs first, I think. And if we take a right here, you can probably tell where we're going because of this giant T-Rex. Very nice, as you can see, this giant skeleton. There's a little cafe here. I wanted the outside of the museum to feel like outsides of museums usually do in big cities, which is like, you know, they've got this like nice patio area with seating and a cafe, a place to get coffee and stuff like that. So that was kind of the vibe I was going for. I won't show you in my museum, obviously, but I do have all of the fossils, and I'm only missing like 4 or 5 of the art pieces. And I do not have the fish or the bugs completed, but I really want to one day. Maybe I'll do a video collecting all of the extra fish and bugs. That might be fun. Let me know if you'd like that. Here's a little picnic spot. I used to be obsessed with this item, the one with the sushi down there. I was like, oh, it's so good. Like, all of that food looks so delicious. There's even some fries down there, damn. And then as we continue to the right of the museum, this is also part of the museum ground. This is all the museum sort of property. There's an outdoor sculpture park. So you get a little outdoor book library thing. But then if we continue down, we follow this sort of river. Also, if you look up, there's a giant stag, or whatever that is called. But yeah, that's where the water comes from. It's supposed to look like a fountain, and the water's like part of the feature, but you can only do so much in Animal Crossing. So we come this way, it's a little sculpture park. We got a bunch of fake and or real. Some of these are real, some of these are fake. You guys will probably know better than I will which one is which. Sculptures, and got a bunch of them. There's a little gazebo in here you can hang out in, I should say. And one thing you may notice about my island is that I only have white flowers. I forget why I made that decision. I just think that I found the flower colors to be really bright and vibrant, and I wanted something a little more subdued for my island. So I only have white flowers, and that way I can, really decorate with all of the other items. I just feel like the flowers are really bright in this game, which is nice, but it's not my vibe personally. Here at the end of the sculpture park, there's a little painting station. I like to imagine you can sit here and you can look out over the entire rest of the island, and that might be what you're painting. And these are some previous works by whatever artist is here that paints. I don't really know who paints here. None of my villagers are particularly artistic, except for, of course, Caroline, who draws the manga. Oh look, there's a balloon. Should I try and get it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to, No, it's too far forward, I think. Oh, no, I got it. Let's see what it is. But I have a lot of stuff in my inventory. It is a simple vanity. Let's test it out. Let's see what it looks like. I'm really surprised I'm remembering all of these controls so well. Oh, it's ugly as sin. Okay. Never mind. How do I put this away? Whoops. How do I put this away, dude? I don't know how to put it away. Okay, well, I guess we're holding a slingshot. Anyway, continue down the sculpture garden, and you jump across this little gap, and there's a little lighthouse with another seat, a very romantic, picturesque spot. And this is the little gap that we went to that secret beach through, in case you were wondering. Then we continue over the bridge, and this is where we get to a few different areas. Number one is the little date spot that I talked to you about, this little nook here. This is where people go on fancy dinner dates on my island, and as I mentioned, there was one time that Genji and Raymond were found both here in this space, which confirms that they are dating and in love. So, suck it, homophobes. If we continue downwards, you'll see that this is sort of, I feel like every Animal Crossing island has a little like Japanese decoration inspired region, because there's so much of those items in this game, which is great, and it really works for me because Genji, who I mentioned and we saw earlier, has a very Japanese style exterior. I did decorate all of the villagers' houses on the inside, but I didn't change any of the outside, and I don't remember why. I just think I didn't want to because I wanted to preserve a little bit of their original house. So Genji lives in this like perfect Wonderland paradise where everything is like super his aesthetic. And I do take decorating outside of villager houses very seriously. I want it to all match with the villagers' personality and aesthetic and vibe and stuff. So yeah, he's lucky that I gave him such a nice place. He also has like a giant yard, so I don't know if he appreciates it necessarily. He'd probably like a gym more than this, but there we go. And I do want to show you the inside of all my villager houses, so I'm going to do a tour later when he's at his house, and I'm going to cut it right here so you can see. Ready, set, go. As I mentioned before, Genji he's a jock villager, so he's very sporty, and he's very like much of a gym bro. He's also got this like Japanese aesthetic, obviously. So the inside of his house has got this little home gym. It's got this little living room with protein powder for him to drink. His bed is back here. And then this little like tea place where he's currently working out. Hey bud. Welcome. I guess you're here for a tour of the soon-to-be world-famous Genji's gym. Let's chat. Hey, do you know the most important necessity for wilderness survival? It's your biceps. If you want to survive out in the wild, you gotta have huge biceps. Out in the wild, you've got to carry a lot of heavy things and maybe swim in rough waters, right? You gotta have faith in your own arms. In other words, your arm muscles are the most important for survival. So yeah, he's got like this, very sort of Japanese decor house to match his personal aesthetic and the outside of his house. But he's also got a lot of plants, so I'll mention it later, but since he and Raymond are dating, Raymond is a plant guy and has a couple different places throughout the island that he like takes care of plants. So Genji's helping Raymond sort of learn to like live in the moment and be more of a free spirit, and in turn I think that Raymond is teaching Genji how to be more of a how to like take care of plants and stuff, because Genji's very irresponsible. That's one of his character flaws. So I think that Raymond sees plant keeping as a way of sort of like getting Genji to be a little bit more responsible and to pay attention to more things in his life that need upkeep and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it for good old Genji, one of my favorites. Okay, so you just saw the inside of his house. It's very nice, as you can see. It matches the vibe and the outside and the aesthetic of Genji. And if we continue downwards, we'll get to here, which is the little spa area, which I really like as well. Look at it, so cute. Ooh, there's a message in a bottle. Don't mind if I do. Let's see who it's from and see what it is. It's from Ketchup. Oh, the little duck one, right? Cabin wall. I have that. Well, I think I have most of them anyway, so who cares? Yeah, this little luxurious spa area. Again, the beaches are hard to decorate, so this is the best I could do. It's right next to Genji's house, obviously, because that's part of his aesthetic. And we'll continue. That's it for this side of the island, so we'll continue down this way. Get back to the museum. We'll look at it one more time. Look at those pillars with the fossils in front. I like my little museum area. I think it's very cute. And we'll continue northwards, and I see someone. I see my girl Blair. Look at her. Hi, Blair. Blair is my second favorite villager of all time. Hi, girl. Oh, buddy, it seems like ages since the last time we've talked. It must have been about 5 months ago now. It's hard not to take that personally, my dear. Blair is an old lady, but she's one of those really classy, fancy old ladies that's like, oh my god, I want to be like her when I am old, right? Like, she's really like with the times, but really fancy and really sophisticated. That's who Blair is, and you'll see when we see her house and stuff that she's like that. And Blair is actually, in her old age, married to my favorite villager of all time, which is Static. Static is this squirrel. As you can see in their houses, there and there, they live next to each other on a little island, which we're going to see soon. And Static and Blair are sort of the old man and the old woman of my island. They're, I like to imagine that they're both either like widows or divorcees, and they've been single for a lot of their adult lives, but they found each other, you know, in their older age, and have really blossomed in each other's relationships with each other. They're very wholesome. Everyone on the island freaking loves them because they're just that like adorable, but also very hip and with the times older couple that you love to hang out with. Blair is very classy and sophisticated, and Static is like kind of like, he's very grungy and he likes rock and that kind of thing. So they're kind of like opposites attract, but they're in love with each other and they're old. Those are the strong things that I feel very strongly about them because I love Blair and Static. They're my two favorite villagers. So it's important to me. We walked completely past Raymond's house without realizing, but yes, Raymond lives here. I will show you his house right now, actually. I'll film a tour of it. Boom. Okay, Raymond time. So as I mentioned before, Raymond is like a city boy. He is a like stock analyst that used to live in like a penthouse in New York. And he's come to the island of Donley because he's had like a quarter life crisis where he was like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm not enjoying myself. I need to find something that'll like make me live for life instead of live for money. And so he came out here, but as you can tell from his decoration, he basically still thinks he's living in the city. Almost his entire house is basically like an office. His bed looks like the most uncomfortable shit you've ever seen. The couch does as well. The sense of style is absolutely disgusting and so whack for the location. But that's just who he is, right? Like, and he's going on a character arc. He has to learn to live for the things he wants to live for, as opposed to learning to live for money. But yeah, fortunately, he's dating Genji now, and Genji is much more of like a free spirit. He's much more into the island life and living in the moment and stuff like that. So Raymond will go through a character arc during his relationship with Genji, where he'll learn to, you know, be a little bit more free-spirited like that. Yeah, always a pleasure to have you stop by the Chalet de Ramond. You know how some folks pretend that they don't like to gossip? I'm up front. I love gossip. So I heard this from someone on Donley. Okay, so this might be a rumor, but I heard you're into drinks. Or more specifically, Slurm, right? What the fuck is Slurm the drink from from Futurama. Is that the reference I was making when the villager asked me that? Should I say that's right or not anymore? No, that's right. I like that as a reference. I really like Futurama, so. I've been meaning to check out Slurm, but maintaining my lifestyle blog is a full-time job. But yeah, I'll be all over Slurm once things slow down. Go up, Baldy. Go up, Baldy! That's a Drawfee reference. Oh my gosh. Was that really 2020? Was when they made that joke on Drawfee? Look, there he is at his desk, working on his lifestyle blog. I like to think that the lifestyle blog is probably something that Genji suggested that he does to sort of like, you know, learn to live in the moment and appreciate his life right now. So yeah, that was Raymond's house. As you can tell, he has a very Raymond aesthetic. He takes himself a little too seriously. He still thinks he lives in like a penthouse in the big city. But he, you know, he'll come around and he'll start appreciating the island life for all that it can offer him. This is his little outdoor office. I'm not going to lie to you. This is probably the absolute worst decorated space on the entire island. Like, this is abysmal. This is really, really bad. My original vision for Raymond was that he was going to be a fashion designer, which is why there's like clothes out here, but I'm actually just going to take them away because they look terrible and he's not a fashion designer anymore. He does some like stupid, like, he's like a stock analyst or something stupid like that. If you're a stock analyst listening to this, yeah, I'm not saying that you're stupid. I'm saying that it's one of those like made up jobs that shouldn't exist. And I'm sure you realize that. And here is Zucker's house. And Zucker and Genji live very close to each other because of course this is like the, you know, where all of the like Japanese decoration goes. And they both have that aesthetic. So I'll show you in Zucker's house now as well. Boom. But Zucker is also of course the lazy villager. And he does like the whole snacks and bugs thing. So Zucker has another very sort of Japanese-inspired house. He's currently crafting something, which means that you can't see it, but usually he'll have a unit and a TV here. A TV on like a TV stand thing. A little bed in the corner is just a futon, and then his little kitchen here where he cooks ramen. This guy, again, cannot cook for shit, so he like eats ramen and take out sushi and stuff like that all the time. And he's got a little, you know, table here. What is this called? I think it's like a kotatsu. It's got some ramen on it. And yeah, just a very quaint little house, very fitting for, I don't know, to me Zucker is like, he's young, he's probably like 19, he just moved out from his parents' house. Don't know exactly how he's affording to live out here. He's kind of like the baby brother of the island. Everyone sort of dotes on him, and he's very cute and very sweet. So everybody makes sure that he's like taken care of and that he's, you know, got everything that he needs and stuff. But he probably couldn't live alone in any other circumstance. But yeah, he's like the baby brother, everyone's little brother. He's got a little ant farm because he likes bugs and stuff like that. I realized I was about to leave without talking to him, so let's talk to him. Prof Pi, can you see me? I thought maybe I was a ghost for the last 5 months. I'm always watching you, but you ignore me, Squidio. That's no way to treat a snack buddy. Sorry, bud. Later. So there was Zucker's house. Again, you know, I'm sure I explained it during the tour, which I'll do soon. But it's all very Zucker. You know, I've decorated the spaces to be very much in conjunction with the characters' personalities and their vibe and stuff. If we go back down, you can see there's sort of a little hidden gap in this wall. And if you walk through here, you can see, ooh, there's a little tent over there with a well, and then over here, this is of course the campsite. I wish that there was a campsite villager so I could show you what it looks like with the tent, but you'll just have to imagine. Yeah, all of this is very quaintly decorated, and technically this is the official entrance to the campsite, so we'll see that later when we go that way. But for now, we'll duck back out and go back down. And I'll look at Blair, sleeping on the bench. We'll go back down. Oh, and there's Caroline on this. Everyone's sitting on the furniture all of a sudden. And there's Genji. Look at him. Okay. Now we're going up this way. And then there's Raymond down there. Everyone's hanging out today. It's such a nice day. This is a little park here. Great way to fill space. Just put a park somewhere. And we can go up and we can go to the left. I think we're gonna go up first. So we'll go up, and this is where Able Sisters is. Ooh, it is exactly 1 p.m. So we have the bells ringing. That's fun. Yeah, to me, I really wanted the place where the stores are. I guess I'll show you Nook's Cranny as well, to really feel integrated and like it's a little shopping district. But I didn't want to put them right next to each other because I felt that was a little, basic and it didn't look very good. So I put Nook's Cranny here, gave it a little patio space with some seating, and really just decorated it to look like it's, inviting and like they want you to come in and check out the space. And then I put Able Sisters right above it, but still kind of in the same corner of the island, and gave it a similar sort of decoration on the outside to really tie the spaces together, if that makes sense. But right here to the left of Able Sisters, there's an entrance to a more sort of wilderness-based area of my island. This is the highest point on the island as well. So there's a lot of pine trees up here. This is like a little hiking path is what I imagine. So when you want to go on sort of a bit of a nature retreat in the island, you'll go up here. If you go to the left, it's one of my favorite spaces on the island. It is the apple orchard. So just this little corner of the island is a dedicated orchard for apple picking. It's not fall right now, but this place looks best in the fall. That's when I designed it. And yeah, it's just supposed to be a place to come with a loved one and enjoy all the apple picking stuff that you can do. Just pretend that that's a thing in Animal Crossing. And yeah, cute. Up here at the top of a mountain. If we continue down the hiking path, you'll see that over here is that entrance to the campsite that I pointed out earlier. You can go down and we're back here. Nice. So you can see the campsite kind of makes more sense in context when you approach it from this direction, because it's at the end of the little, wilderness hiking path. But it is in and of itself sort of tucked into the terrain itself here, so it feels very cozy, is sort of the idea. I wanted the villagers that, come to the island to get a very luxurious feel. If we continue upwards, there's two ways we can go. Let's go to the left first. This is Static and Blair's houses. As you can see, the old married couple, they do live separately because, they're old and they've lived most of their lives alone. So they still want to maintain their private spaces, but they do want to, live together and feel like they are sort of sharing a lot of their, space with each other. So I've merged their two houses. They have a communal yard. They have this little, what is this thing called? Not a pagoda. I forget. This little thing in between their houses so they can meet here, and be all lovey-dovey. In Blair's house, I'll give you a tour of right now. As I was saying, Blair is a classy, sophisticated older woman, and her house perfectly reflects this. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful in here. She's got her clothes, all of her fancy clothes, her beautiful rose bed. This is actually something she has in her original house. A lot of this is stuff she has in her original house because I'm a big fan of her original house. Little seating area, a little gramophone because she likes, classy music from like whatever, the 30s or whenever. A bookcase behind her bed. I don't know, just like a very luxurious sort of house for her. You can kind of get the vibe of what kind of character she is based off of how, elegant her house is. Let's talk to her before we leave. Hello there, buddy. Sit down, stay a while, make yourself at home. Hashtag Rompo 2020. That's an inside joke with my friends from the 2020 elections. It's Rompo Adagawa from Bungo Stray Dogs. It's a long story. You can't just throw a bunch of random furniture together and call it a style, Even I made a few little ill-advised decor choices in my youth, I must admit. She knows her house rocks, okay? She's confident in it, and she should be. As you can see, Blair, once again, she's very classy, she's very sophisticated, she loves dressing really well and speaking very eloquently, and then I'll show you Static's house, which is a very different vibe to her. As I mentioned, Static, he's an old man, but he's kind of like a young soul. He's really into punk and rock, and He's like a mechanic kind of dude. He plays the electric guitar. He's super, super into music. So this is his house. It's giving a little, ratchet. It's giving a little bachelor pad. It kind of looks like it was built in a garage, but that's just his aesthetic. He's got this couch with a TV. He's got all of his favorite KK albums up there on the wall. He's got this scooter that he drives around. He's currently fixing it up. That's why he's got his little workshop here. Little storage area with his guitars that he plays. One of them electric, one of them is, let's just pretend that one's acoustic. His little speakers to play all his favorite tunes, and then his bed. And we can pretend those on the wall are like autographs from his favorite artists. That's why I put him up there. And yeah, as you can see, very strong black and yellow sort of design because he's got like an electric motif. What a glorious day, kiddo. Go on, make yourself at home. You know what? I don't understand fashion, you geezer. Like, what about those hats that are half the size of your own body? Yeah, they're probably good for blocking out the sun, but how can you even see where you're going? You geezer, I guess some folks would say I can't see where I'm going anyway. So yeah, that's Static. That's his house. Static is my favorite villager in all of Animal Crossing, so I love him a lot. And this house fits his personality to a T in my book. Music guy, mechanic guy, very cool and hip, but also, music taste is probably a little outdated. He only likes bands from like the 70s and the 80s or whatever, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's it for Static. Later, Static. As you can see, Static's sort of aesthetic is a little bit more punk rock. He's kind of like, when you're a teenager and you're really into like heavy metal and punk and stuff, but he never really grew out of that phase. And he's like that cool old dude, who everybody loves. He's really like hip and with the times, but he's also old, They have a little picnic spot here above this beautiful waterfall and river where they can have a meal with each other and enjoy the peace and quiet. This little corner of the island is very sort of isolated. It's on its own separate island surrounded by water. And that's because, again, they're old people, right? Like there's a bunch of youngins. Everyone else on the island is very young and hip. And they just want to be, living their life in their own little private corner where they're not too affected by everything else that's going on the island. Because they just want their privacy in their old age. If we continue up the hiking path, we will eventually get to this little area. If we go to the right, there's a little snapping turtle there. This is his pond, his area. And this is my little stargazing little place. You can sit here and you can wish upon the stars whenever it happens in Animal Crossing. And it's very cute. This is the dedicated place to do that. There's a little bonfire down here, and as you can tell, that's where Raymond's house is, and just below us is where the campsite is. So yeah, little stargazing deck, I guess is what you would call it. I don't know. If we continue forward, there's this little thing which kind of marks a sort of transition point between here and we go back into a sort of mountain path hiking place, because at the end of this area is a bridge over a river and waterfall. A very picturesque river or space, as you can see. This is where that waterfall we saw earlier is, right below us. But here on this very high in terms of elevation little corner of the island is Eric's house. Eric is this guy, the what is he, like a moose? Visually, he's one of my favorite villagers. I think he's so damn cute. And on my island, Eric is a bit of a forest himbo, is what I like to call him. He's really into like hiking and camping and nature. And he keeps to himself in this very isolated corner of the island where he's on the top of like a mountain, basically, in his little log cabin. And yeah, he's always wearing like flannel and, he's just that kind of aesthetic. He's like a nature dude. So yeah, Eric actually usually like hangs out around this place. He very rarely goes into like the town center and stuff. And he spends a lot of time in his little cabin. So it really matches his personality, to be honest, that he's kind of like this forest reclusive guy who, he does have some friends on the island. If we look at the map of villagers, I have seen him hang out with Caroline sometimes. That's his sort of main friend. So I like to imagine that he's also like a manga reader. and that he knows like Caroline's work personally. I also like to think in my head that he does a lot of the beta reading for Caroline to check for like spelling mistakes and continuity errors in her work and stuff like that. I think that's really cute. But as you can tell, he likes beekeeping. That's his main hobby. So he's got his little bee things here. He's also got this little cage with bugs in it, and he does washing outside in the river down there. Like he's a very, very nature-oriented dude. And we'll take a tour of his house. This is the first villager that's actually home, even though it's such a nice day. So I can do the tour right now, live, with you. Okay, this is Eric's house. Look how cute it is, dude. Oh, it's so cozy in here. So as you can tell, over here, I don't know what this music is. It must be the gyroids, right? That are making that sound. It's kind of awful. But over here is his little bedroom with his bed. He's got some cute little paintings on the side. Here he has his clothes out to dry, I guess. He just did his laundry in the river. And behind that is his wardrobe. I guess he moves the pole out of the way to get to the wardrobe. Over here is his little sled for when it's winter. He lives at the top of the mountain, so he likes the sled a lot. Some skateboards. I've never seen him skateboard. I think he's lying about that. And here is his little living room with a nice wood fireplace. And he's got a little tool rack there because he's a man's man. He's a handyman. He knows how to do tools and maintenance and stuff. And he's just overall very cute. But of course, he is a lazy villager, so he really likes like snacks and bugs and stuff. So he's got that duality to him. Schmoopy, where have you been? I haven't talked to you in like over 10 months. Huh? You've been around? What do you mean? Were we playing hide and seek? Please don't disappear on me. I'll cry if my snack buddy goes away again, you geezer. I always feel so bad leaving them, because it implies that they've lived a life, you know, while you've been gone. It makes me sad. But I'm sorry, I can't play this game every day. But yeah, that's Eric's house. We'll leave now. You kind of get the impression he's a very rustic, outdoorsy kind of dude. But he's also like, you know, pretty young at heart. And he's friends with Caroline. And I think he also sort of hangs out with Raymond and Genji. But he does feel a little bit like a third wheel in that situation, for obvious reasons. So down this path, we can see the orchard up to our right there. And we get to this little nexus point. There's a couple different ways to go here. This little sitting area, Jesus, you can also jump across this little island thing. And if we go down, first and foremost, we get to this little area here, which is the sort of cultivation place for all of the flowers on the island. As you could tell earlier, as I said, I have only white flowers on the island, so I like to imagine that this is the place where all those flowers are cultivated and grown and stuff, right here. You also notice a lot of these vine ladders. That's just for me to get to places on the island faster. They're in a couple of spots, and they're just a nice way of like hiding, you know, those little ways. Here we're back to Nook's Cranny, so we've kind of done a big circle around the island. If you can imagine, we started out here, then we went all the way to the top and to the top left and then down, and now we're back. Genji wants to say something, but I'm not going to let him right now. We already talked to you. If we go up here right across from Nook's Cranny, we get to Sasha's house. Sasha has this little like patio outside. This little patio area is like public space. It's not really Sasha's like personal private property, because I imagine it's a sort of continuation of, you know, this area. I like to imagine this area, Sasha's house, Nook's Cranny, and the Able Sisters store, as being a little bit more like city-like, a little bit more town center. So there's a lot of communal space here. And Sasha's really funny. We haven't seen him at all during the tour, but he's like a streamer, is is my sort of take. So I'll show you his house now. It's very streamer core. Okay, so Sasha on my island is he's a streamer, like a typical kind of streamer that you would imagine here on YouTube. So as you can see, his house is very messy. It's very bright colored, lots of blue and purple. He's also like one of those squishmallow people. So he's got a bunch of like teddy bears and stuffed animals and stuff. He's just like a fun streamer guy. Like, I don't know. This is his setup. This is his kitchen, first and foremost. He's got ramen. He has absolutely no freaking idea how to cook anything. So he eats ramen like almost every single meal. This is his setup. He's got his webcam, his ring light, his mic, and his computer, and his gamer chair. He is a gaming streamer, I should say that. And the backdrop for his streams is just an absolute metric ton of I imagine they're squishmallows. That in my mind, those are squishmallows. And we can talk to him while we're here. Shio, long time no see. How long has it been? 5 months? Huh. What do you mean you've been around? That's weird. Oh, I understand. You've been playing while I've been sleeping. You could have just woken me up. So yeah, Sasha's like a bit of a ditz. He's a little dumb in an endearing way, you know. He's also like a bit of a kid at heart. You can tell from his decor that he's like a bit lame. Those posters on that back wall are like signed prints of all of his favorite like manga artists or something. Like they're all like anime prints over there and stuff like that. So yeah, he goes to like cons and conventions all the time. There's a pen underneath his couch, as you can see, like a drawing pen or something. Maybe he's also an artist. You can see over there those KK Slider posters. I picked all the ones that look like K-pop album covers because I also think that Sasha is like really into K-pop. And you can tell from his bed, he's also messy as hell. He's got those skateboards on his wall, not because he skateboards. He absolutely does not. He's way too scared to skateboard, but because he does love Skate the Infinity. It's his favorite anime ever. He will talk about it for ages with you. And yeah, that's it. I mean, I feel like the instant you walk into Sasha's house, you can tell immediately what kind of guy he is. I mean, he's literally even got like LED strips on that back wall next to his setup. Like, you know. Anyway, thank you for letting us tour your house, Sasha. Bye. So yeah, that's Sasha's house. Again, streamer, like YouTuber. He's very, on the internet, that kind of aesthetic. Sasha's really funny. He's the newest resident by far on the island, so he doesn't have a huge amount of like established connections with other people, but I do think I've seen him hanging out with Tangy before, which is nice because before Sasha was here, Tangy was also one of the odd people out on the island. So the fact that they found some companionship together is very nice. Tangy gets this beautiful tropical garden with all of these orange trees because, she's Tangy. And everything here has to match the villagers' aesthetic. And Tangy is an orange cat. She gets this wonderful orange paradise garden. Here on the beach. Oh, but let me show you her house first. Here we go. Oh, Tangy's house is so luxurious on the inside. Again, she's like, she's all about the present, the moment, right? She doesn't think about the future too much. She's all about like luxuriating right now, right here. So her house is like basically a spa. She's an interesting character here on the island. She doesn't really do much. She calls herself a pop star, but she doesn't like release any music or anything. But she is she's a bit of like a lifestyle queen. Everybody's always jealous. She's always so nourished and in her lane and just like she's always living her best life, right? And so her house is basically like a spa. Over here is her bed. It's a hammock. She probably has horrible back pain every day, but at least she's, lounging in luxury. I don't think this is her actual house. I think when they cook and they craft, they replace part of their furniture with a kitchen or a crafting table. I honestly don't remember what is usually here, but I don't think it's this kitchen. She's got this beautiful spa-like tub with all this greenery around her. How beautiful is that, huh? And this little lounge area as well. All very pretty, as you can see. So yeah, that's it for Tangy. She's kind of a queen. She's my girl fail queen. Doesn't really do anything, doesn't really know what she's doing in life. But hey, at least she can cook, look at that. Anyway, that is it for Tangy. And there's Tangy's beautiful home, one of my favorites on the island. She also gets on her beach, just a little hangout area here. I think her and Sasha like to hang out here. Tangy is also Caroline's sort of protege. We'll see Caroline in a second, but Caroline's a little older. She's like middle-aged, and Tangy's very young. She's probably like, 21, 22. And they're not exactly friends. Like, they're very friendly with each other. Everyone on the island is. But Tangy is like Caroline's like protege, right? Caroline has kind of taken her under her wing to teach her some life lessons. Caroline's been around the block for a while. And Tangy really appreciates that. And they often have, long talks on the beach about life and about living here at this table and on this hammock. That's kind of the vibe, the relationship, if you can imagine. Going forward up to this beach, you can see as we start getting closer to the top, there's this like barbed wire. It's very like kind of off-putting. It's kind of like a warning sign, like don't come here. But if you do come here, you will see that it is a bit of a pirate's cove. There's a lot of looted artifacts from different places, including someone who has stolen the entire Statue of Liberty. There's this Mario flagpole because it looks like a pirate flag, basically, is the idea. They've stolen fossils and pirates' booty and stuff like that. And that's, of course, because if you sneak around this side, you get to the secret beach. And here it is. There's like a barrel. This is where Red comes, obviously. So he's kind of left stuff behind in between offloading and unloading things on the island. I wish he was actually here so I could show you what it looks like with the boat, because it looks really cool with the boat. But that's basically the idea. As you can, this is the third Mario pipe that we've seen now. That's all of them. They're basically just, there's one in town center, and there's two on either extreme of the island, so I don't have to make the whole walk, basically. We have one more villager house, I believe, and it's just south of Tangy's little abode here. It's a little secret area. We come to Caroline's house. So as I mentioned before, Caroline is a manga artist. She has a hit manga that she writes. It's about a squirrel superhero, and this is her house. So as you can tell, she's very into these like bright colors, into these like the tropical island aesthetic. This is her desk, which is where she does all of her work. Here on the back wall, that's all the manga she's written. She's written multiple. She's very popular. She's very good at what she does. I like to think those are like fan art of her characters that she's gotten at cons and stuff like that, that she keeps very dearly. This is her little bedroom. This is her little living room space. She's got a dining room here. She really likes sweet things like cookies and juices and cakes and stuff. She's got a real sweet tooth. And this is her little kitchen. I like to imagine that she likes to cook, but it's nothing like too serious. She really likes to bake specifically. All of her little baked goods and stuff. And yeah, that's Caroline's house. She's, kind of middle-aged. So she's got a little bit of that like, older person vibe to her house. The wallpaper and stuff like that is all very floral and stuff. But she's also very hip and with the times, You have to be hip and with the times to write a popular manga. So, yeah. Let's talk to her before we leave so she's not sad. Welcome to my home, right, bitch? Oh my god, Caroline. She's also a little bit of, a troublemaker. She's got a fun streak to her. I like being independent, but there are things I think are more important to do if you're living on your own. It's always good to eat healthy, but it also helps to have a lot of budget-friendly recipes. Right, bitch? You're right, bitch. You are. And yeah, that was Caroline's house. Very quaint, very cute. I really love this couch. It's one of my favorite items in the entire game. I think it's so stylish. But yeah, that's it. Caroline has the cherry-themed yard. She's a gardener. She's a manga writer, but, writing manga means that you spend a lot of your time in your house. So she likes to sort of capitalize on the beautiful island paradise that she lives on. She's got a lot of these outdoor spaces that she utilizes all the time. I do actually see Caroline hanging out outside, like in this area a lot, which is why I've sort of built it up, because I get the impression she really likes the outdoors. She's got her own little like garden flowers that she tends to, a little sitting area and a little picnic area. And if you come out here, she's got a beautiful little place to sunbathe, lay by the beach, and sort of just enjoy her time. And if we come down here... Oh, actually, no, we have one more villager. I forgot. If we come down here, there is a little camping spot, some outdoor food. Oh, there's Zucker. And yeah, this is like where the barbecues happen on the island. If there's ever like a, a block party, basically, that's where it happens. This is where I plant my money trees and where I keep stumps to catch bugs. There's no money on that tree. I obviously forgot to cut it down after planting it. We'll talk to Mark Zuckerberg in a second. First, we're going to come down this way, and we're going to see our final villager's house. It is Marshall. Marshall, to me, is like a bit of a beach guy, right? He's like a surfer bro, but not in like that like Calabunga dude kind of way. He's like, I don't know, he just likes the beach, and he likes surfing, and he's a very tropical kind of guy. I know that a lot of people might disagree with that because Marshall has the, what is it called? The smug personality type, which might not fit that exactly, but that's just the vibes I get from him. He was always hanging out on the beach before I moved his house here, so I was like, obviously he's here like for the beach, that's what he likes, so I'll build him a house on the beach. And I gave him this beautiful little island paradise with his surfboard that he goes out on, this little hangout area just for him. And yeah, that's what it looks like. He's got the pier here. I don't think he likes to fish, but I like to think that Cap like is a friend of his, and he hangs out here while Cap sits there, and they have conversations. We'll go into his house since he's home. And even though he's like a beach guy, I have given him a very trendy interior to his home to kind of fit that smug personality. So I do incorporate that personality as well. As you can see, he, in addition to liking the beach, he also loves coffee. He's like a coffee nerd. He's one of those people that takes like 30 minutes every morning to make a perfect mug of coffee. He's also a music guy. He likes, he plays the piano, as you can tell. And you can't tell right now, but his bed is usually where that bench is. I said before that I take it very seriously, giving every character like a bed at least so they can sleep. But of course they move the furniture around sometimes when they want to cook or do this, which is crafting. So his bed is usually here with a little bedside table. It's the bed that's from this set of furniture, the hardwood set, so you can imagine what that looks like. Marshall's also a world traveler. You can see this little photo up on his wall. That's, I believe, New York, right? He's been to New York. He likes to travel. Marshall is rich, but we don't really know why. He doesn't really do anything on the island. He doesn't have a job. None of the villagers do. And we don't really know why he's rich. We think he's just like a rich kid. Basically, he's like a trust fund baby, and this is what he does with his life. And honestly, I really respect him for that, because that's what I would do if I was a trust fund kid. Hey, Shio, right? Yo, it's been forever and a day since we talked, hasn't it? Like 5 months or something, wow. Well, better late than never when it comes to the Marshall Light Rail Sulky. Choo-choo. What? Oh, to the Marshall Light Rail Sulky. Choo-choo. Wait, what noise does a light rail make? Marshall is one of my favorites as well. I know a lot of y'all will call me basic for my villagers. I have Raymond, I have Marshall, I have Sasha, right? These are all very, like, basic villagers, but I can't help it, dude. I like them. I'm very endeared to my villagers. Again, these are all pretty much the same villagers I've had since, like, day one of the island, like, well and truly. I just remembered how to put my thing away, by the way. Yeah, I really like Marshall. He's so cute. I genuinely believe he's one of the cutest villagers in the game, just from a design perspective. And on my island, he's very sweet. As I said, he's a little introverted. He's a little, like, awkward, which is why he likes to keep to himself on his little beach here. But he is friends with, he has a bit of a rivalry with Raymond, first and foremost, as the other smug villager on the island. They do butt heads a lot sometimes. They have argued with each other in the past. So they don't necessarily really get along. But Marshall actually surprisingly gets along with Eric decently well, because they're kind of like awkward dudes that like to sort of live a little farther away from places. And he does get along with Zucker, but not in like a hugely friendly way. They like to like sit together in silence, and Zucker will bring snacks and Marshall kind of just silently eats them. And Zucker thinks that's like the perfect hangout because he just gets to talk about bugs and stuff, and Marshall just gets to like stay quiet and not do much. Okay, to the right of Marshall's beach, there's another little thing that I cannot remember the name of, and then a little greenhouse. with some plants. Fun fact, this is actually Raymond's greenhouse. Doesn't really feel like it would be, but I have seen him here multiple times, more times than I've seen any other villager. So he's the one that maintains these plants, and he's the one that really takes care of this little area of the island. Doesn't really feel like his personality, as I said, but can't argue with where I see the villagers. That's how I sort of operate in this game. If I see a villager frequenting a certain location, that means they like that, and I sort of redecorate and change their personality in my head to match that. We continue this way, there's a little bit more of this like greenhouse area. This is also managed by Raymond. He just likes plant upkeep, and he's sort of claimed this little part of the island for that. Down here, another little beach area. Again, beaches are so hard to decorate. They all kind of just look the same. But I like to imagine that each of these little hangout spaces on the beaches are kind of taken care of and used by a different villager. So this one's probably used by one of the villagers who lives, you know, up in this side of town. Like up here, Raymond, Zucker, or Genji, or even like Blair or Static, because they don't have access to the beach. So actually, I like to think that this one is Blair and Static's maybe, because it's got two tumbonas. What do you call that in English, dude? The like reclining chairs. I don't remember. But yeah, maybe this is Blair and Static, and they come down here together and have a nice little picnic. That's nice. We'll consider that canon. Here is a graveyard. A lot of my friends, whenever they visited my island, were like, Shio, dude, why do you have a graveyard on your island? That's so grim. That's so sinister. I'm like, I don't know. No one's died on my island, you know, canonically, but there's a graveyard. You know, graveyards aren't sinister places. They're a place for respecting and celebrating the dead. It's not a bad thing. Plus, it works really well. That little corner of the island gets decorated like that. And yeah. Over this bridge, we are back to this area. Remember, down here is the volleyball court beach. And, oh, Caroline's down there. And over here is the entrance to the island. And that's my... Oh, look, there's Static. Oh my god, Static, what are you wearing? Static is another villager that I adopted from someone else. And this is the outfit that he came with. The person that had him before me, this was the only outfit they ever gave him, because in their island, he liked to cook. So they gave him a little apron, and honestly, I respect it. And he still likes to cook on this island, just because of that. Because I'm not going to erase his past... Oh, he changed. Just as I was talking, he changed back into his workout outfit. Hey, Static. So Static is my favorite villager in Animal Crossing. He was my favorite in New Leaf, and he's my favorite in this game as well. To me, he's just an old man. He's just one of those cool old men. And that's all I can say about him. I want to vibe with him. Well now, Schmoopy. Been a while since we had us a chinwag. You been avoiding me? Thought maybe it was something I'd done. I know I forgot my bath near about when we last spoke. Well, don't worry. I'm on the straight and narrow now. I'm squeaky clean, even behind the ears. Whew, glad I cleared that up for you. See you around. Yeah, that's my boy. I love Static. And yeah, that is, I believe, that's the entire island. You've seen it all. My whole shtick. Every single little part. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. As I said, this was kind of a test to test my console recording stuff, so I hope it came out well, but also I've just been missing this game and I wanted to do a little tour. And if there's any Animal Crossing people still watching this, you know, let me know who your favorite Animal Crossing YouTuber is down in the comments, because I miss this game and I want to watch more Animal Crossing New Horizons content, so let me know. But other than that, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this was fun at all. And let me know what other Switch games or PlayStation games you want to see. I do want to do like a Mario Kart video, because I really like that game. And my next Let's Play is probably going to be Sekiro on PS5, so look out for that if you're interested. That one's going to be a freaking doozy, dude. But other than that, I think that's about it. That is it for my island tour and for Donley. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you like the island, and if you still play Animal Crossing, drop your dream address down below. This is mine if you want to come visit for yourself. It's there at the bottom of the screen. Drop your dream address, and I'll go check out your island. It'll be fun. It'll be like visiting each other's houses. Anyway, y'all, that's it from me, so I will see you all next time. Later.